Before we begin, please hit a like and subscribe.
You are now tuned in to the Dark Cabinet Files, where hidden history, forbidden science, and unanswered questions are reviewed. And this is what we found. For decades, rumors have circulated about secret laboratories hidden from public oversight. Places where experiments are said to occur far beyond what governments admit. Experiments involving human cloning, genetic manipulation, and the creation of something entirely new. Most people dismiss these stories outright, others don't. Some claim these programs exist to create body doubles for political leaders. Others believe cloning is being used specifically to harvest organs or to engineer a future ruling class. The enhanced, the obedient, and the biological are distinct from the rest of humanity. One of the most widely circulated modern examples was the claim that a sitting world leader had already been replaced by one of their clones. No hard evidence ever profoundly surfaced, but the fact that millions believed it makes it worth at least investigating deeper. The fear isn't really about one person being replaced, it's about not knowing what's possible behind closed doors. In popular conspiracy narratives, cloning rarely exists all alone. It's often paired with another idea. For example, they now have human-animal hybrids, sometimes described as chimeras. The imagery is disturbing. Creatures that blur the line between species born not from nature but from laboratories. To some, these stories sound like science fiction, but more than half of them are rooted in reality. In 1996, scientists successfully cloned Dolly the sheep, the first mammal clone from an adult cell. That's a fact. That really happened. The breakthrough shocked the world. Suddenly, cloning wasn't theoretical. It was demonstrably a fact of life. That single event reshaped public imagination and ethical debate almost overnight. Since then, genetic engineering has advanced rapidly. Stem cell research, human genetic editing, and synthetic biology have moved from experimental to factual. Scientists have created animals containing human cells, not as monsters, but as research models designed to grow human tissue for transplants. Parents can now even select designer traits to their unborn child, as in appearance, skin color, facial features, and even eye color. Height, muscle strength, even biological sex. Selecting gender, already possible via embryo screening. Oh yeah, that's a fact. In 2018, a controversial experiment edited the CCR5 gene in twin babies to confer the resistance to the HIV virus. They can even alter genetics associated with the intelligence. But 60% of the public remain opposed in doing so. But the fact still remains that it is 100% doable. And as much as they've lied to us in the past, who's to say they haven't already? These experiments are legal documented and published, and they raise uncomfortable questions. Like, where exactly is the line between medical progress and ethical violation? And who decides when that line has been crossed? Some geneticists openly acknowledge that concern. They point out that because the technology already exists, restricting its use becomes increasingly difficult. The equipment needed to manipulate DNA is no longer limited to massive government labs. With enough funding and access, almost any advanced institution could, probably have, and most certainly will be attempting it. One well-known high-ranking scientist put it very clearly: the genie is out of the bottle. Even with regulations, there is no global authority capable of fully preventing the misuse. Restrictions rely on trust alone. Trust that organizations with power will restrain themselves. And with the atomic bomb, who can really say that they will? History suggests that trust has limits. The reason these fears are a reality is not the imagination alone, but historical as well. Governments has conducted unethical experiments before. Programs like MK Ultra, once dismissed as paranoid fantasy, were later confirmed that they were involved with American and non-American human subjects unknowingly to mind-altering drugs and secret biological testing through food and vaccines. That's a fact. That happened. Those revelations permanently changed public confidence. So when people hear claims of hidden cloning programs or genetic experimentation, the question isn't just, is this true or false? It's, how would we know if it were? Supporters of continued genetic research argue that avoiding the science altogether carries its own risks. Medical breakthroughs, lab-grown organs, treatments for genetic diseases, regenerative therapies all rely on these same technologies. To stop progress entirely can cost countless lives. That's why some funding bodies support research, while simultaneously investing in ethical oversight. Social scientists, ethicists, and public forums are brought in, not to condemn the science, but to integrate it. Who owns a synthetic organ? Who owns the data derived from an engineer's life? And if something is created using human DNA, what rights does it really have? These are not abstract questions anymore. They're being debated right now, quietly, and in government and scientific circles, far hidden from public view. You and I. And that distance is what fuels suspicion, because secrecy, even when justified, creates space for darker interpretations. Without transparency, speculation fills the gaps. And without whistleblowers, the public has no way of knowing whether boundaries are being respected or quietly crossed over. Now, I'm not saying that they're crossing the line already. All I'm saying is this: there's proof that this exists, and that governments have crossed ethical lines before, and that science often advances faster than the law is meant to contain it, which leaves one question unresolved. Are these stories warnings about a future that hasn't arrived, or fragments of a reality that we are living in today? Now, this is still open to debate and interpretation. I'm just giving you the story. But the most important question is, what do you believe?
To hear more from the Dark Cabinet Files, hit a like and subscribe.